They've traveled across the lands to uncover a world where oceans are alive, mountains call out, forests share their secrets, animals thrive, and where nature is the overpowering force. They've shown determination, grit, and sheer will. With 2,500 kilometers of coastline, towering mountain ranges, changing landscapes, a wealth of flora and fauna, and the roughest kids around, South Africa is our playground, and this is Roughing It Out. Round 2 will see the Eco-Ellies compete against local leopards for a cash prize of 10,000 Rand, and even more importantly, for the chance to say, without question, that they have roughed it out.
Welcome to this week's episode of Roughing It Out. Now, apart from being known for fishing, great white sharks, and a spectacular location for whale watching, Gansbaai has a hidden conservation gem right here at Grootbos Foundation.
The Foundation's vision is to conserve, rehabilitate, and protect the natural environment. Today, the Rough Kids will be learning more about this.
But before we get stuck in today's challenges, here's a recap just for you.
Last week, the Rough Kids did a crazy night hike.
It was going for a while until we had a bit of confusion. And our sentence came out the wrong way.
Things proved to be a lot less stressful for the Eco-Ellies as they easily completed their sentence.
I see all around you.
We finished before them and I was so happy. I was like, yeah, we won! Woo! So I was very happy and excited.
Local leopards, Eco-Ellies, welcome to Grootbos Nature Reserve. Now, over the past weeks, you've completed some unbelievable challenges, seen amazing sights, and learned so much.
Speaking of which, did you know that South Africa's Cape Flora region is a biodiversity hotspot comprising 13 protected areas in the Western Cape and Eastern Cape provinces? Now, allow me to introduce our rough guide for the day, Mike.
Good morning, teams. Welcome to Grootbos. My name is Mike. I'm the Conservation Officer for the Grootbos Foundation. Today, you're going to be taking part in 3 challenges. The one, you'll be looking at camera traps and wildlife monitoring. Your second challenge, we'll be planting and reforesting milkwood forests. And your third challenge, you'll be inspecting and taking part in worm farming and organic growth of vegetables.
Remember, teams, all of the activities today are in line with the conservation efforts here at Grootbos. So pay attention, but above all, have fun.
For stage 1, teams must place camera traps at strategic points to capture and monitor the movements and behavior of animals passing by. The team with the best placement position and teamwork wins.
If it's there, it will catch the animal going up and down the stairs. Okay, you're good.
Okay, dus 3 hier. Okay, branch. Wait, now I'm goed it.
Let's try to make it down a little.
Okay.
The team is deciding on where they're going to place their trap. They're looking for things like animal tracks to see if it's an area that animals move through frequently, which is essential if you're trying to catch them.
If we're going to put a jet, it's going to go down like that. So
I think you guys have got a really cool stump. I think it's a really nice place. But maybe think about the angle that you're positioning it. You know, there's many places where the animals can come from.
what the rough guy told us to do was that we had to try and take a camera, put it in a certain angle or position, on a tree or even on the ground, but somewhere that an animal couldn't take it from, like a baboon or something like that.
But right now, you've got to think about the angle that that camera is pointing. Okay.
And like you must tie it really tightly, and you must put it in an angle so that when an animal walks past, it would catch the animal walking, like a motion sensor, catch it walking, so that we will film the whole animal scene or what the animal was doing there. So
Must we untie this? Because I'm going to put the stick there. Sure. Move your hand. Is it alright? I want to move it to this side. No, okay.
So I worked on the angle of the camera and helping Joseph tie it and like setting up the camera to capture the animals.
we just went with the flow, just like fun a tree, tying it to that tree, and then like pretending to be an animal.
The local leopards are having lots of fun pretending to be animals in front of the camera traps.
And then I felt quite positive about it because it looked quite good. Like the pictures and the videos were good. Like you could capture the animals walking up and down the stairs.
Okay, this was your first test. Press OK and then you're going to get it.
Okay, please.
Great job, local leopards. The camera works perfectly.
Okay, well done guys. Now try not to move it at all anymore. Just make sure that everything is how you want it within your field of view. You guys are doing well.
It must be like up. I-plan yetim yam was that ukuba mele sifumane like umthi like omfutshane, then like then sibophelele kakuhle so that mhlawumbi animals mhlawumbi xa sisuka mos zincinci animals azikho nkulu so siyifese phaa kwi-ground so that xa zifika i-animals zifika like zibonakala umzimba wonke.
Good job. It looks like the eco-ellies have done it. Now it's on to the next stage. It's time for you to turn your lens towards the ad break. Stay tuned because when we come back, the rough kids keep it green.
Right guys, you did really well in your last challenge. And right now we're going to be talking a bit about the milkwood forest and its ecosystem as a whole. For your next challenge, you're going to be planting milkwoods. And in an era where humans are dominating a landscape, we've shrunk our forests and we are quickly losing habitat for all the organisms that live in the forest. Now the milkwood produces a very smelly flower. Anyone who has milkwoods in their gardens at home will know that in summer a very strong smell comes through. It smells like old smelly feet. And what this does is it attracts flies. Okay. And now what those flies do is they attract birds, these migratory swallows that go all the way across to Europe. And just before that they make that long migration, they're stocked up on all these lovely flies. And once the flies have pollinated the flowers, they produce a beautiful, tasty fruit. And it's even a fruit that we can eat. It's got ink in its berry, and the Bushmen used to use this to produce ink, and it attracts birds and baboons. Look at this tree. It used to be back there. It belongs to that same individual. It is the same tree. Some of these forests are just one tree that is walking through. A branch falls over, he grows up. Something might come across and break it. It might just be growing in an arch and eventually touch the ground. And as that happens, the tree rots. You've got spider webs inside here. The bees might make a hive. The bees produce honey. The honey attracts the baboons. It attracts honey badgers. It attracts birds. The forest is not just about trees. It's one big ecosystem. Are we ready for our next challenge?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Right, teams, look around you. Now that we've exited the forest, you can see that if we went back 200 years in time, this would have been a beautiful, age-old milkwood forest, and we as humans have transformed this. Now, when you look at the smaller trees around you, these have all been planted. Okay, most of these are milkwoods. We've put a couple of other species in between that also occur in these forests. These saplings come from this forest. So we're not bringing in milkwoods from far away and bringing them here. We take them into the nursery, we make sure they're nice and strong, and then we plant them. Okay, this is our Grootbos Foundation Environmental and Sustainability Officer Nwabisa. She's going to tell you exactly how to sustainably and responsibly reforest an area.
Awesome, thank you, Mike. So I'm just going to give a brief explanation on how to plant your tree. So each group has 2 trees, all right? So what you do, you take a spade. So what you do is to make a square shaped, just a small square shaped to your soil using the spade.
Nwabisa showed the rough kids exactly how to dig the hole and how to safely remove and plant the sapling. I hope they're paying close attention to every detail so that they can get it right.
The soil you took out after you finish planting your tree, so we have to mark these spots.
Thank you, Nwabisa, for that explanation, and of course, Mike. So, rough kids, you've heard what the rough guides have said, right?
Yes.
So, your challenge starts now.
For stage 2, each team must plant 2 milkwood saplings in the same way as demonstrated by their rough guide. The team with the best teamwork and planting skills wins.
Are they going to dig over here?
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
That's a square kind of area.
Guys, while you're digging, I've got a question for you. Okay. What does the milkwood flower smell like?
Smell like a sticky,
Like old sticky feet, yeah.
Both teams are doing a great job digging their holes. Let's hope they remember the proper method to plant the milkwood trees.
Great, you're doing a good job.
Okay, team, while you're busy here, I've got one question for you based on the milkwood forest ecology that we discussed earlier. Okay? Name one animal that likes to eat milkwood berries.
Baboon, flies and birds.
And if now but a milk tree banam like a milk tree or near quasi like a by nuka if flies was and then could take intaga then go to clean daga cozy papoons and then papoons is the key then intaga is a key fly then the papoons is the key intaga like what is like a process like.
So the teams have identified their spots. Now they're prepping their holes to put in the milkwoods.
No, gently, yes.
I thought it was going to be like similar to just gardening, you know, like digging up a hole and putting a plant there and just let it there to grow, you know, let nature run its course, you know.
When I heard that we're going to plant 3, I was excited because I have planted a tree before, like a plant or 3. So I thought that we were going to do good because I knew how to like plant something.
Anga and Zoe need to be more careful with the sapling. Watch it, guys.
Just let your fingers. So I was shaking the packet, and Anga was supposed to keep her hand underneath, so if the tree fell out, she would catch it. But she moved her hand away at the last minute, and that last minute was when the tree fell out. And it fell to the ground, it was flat. And it fell on its head, and that was even worse. And Mike did not let us forget that because he was watching us and he was like, you guys let the tree fall.
Go.
Ephraim and Buko are doing much better with their sapling. Nice one, guys.
Ayikho into engayithandanga etimini yami. Into ebendiyithandileyo ngetimi yami was that akho umuntu ebexabana nomnye. Iplan yethu yasisebenza kakuhle and sisacommunicate as a team.
Sakhe ndayenza le nto ngaphambili ekhaya and ndiyenza nomamam okanye nomakhulu wam. Into endiyifundileyo was that uba like ii-wild animals ezizihlala phaa kwi-forest like siyawuthanda laa mntu. Slowly, gently. It's not coming out. Shake it a little bit.
Then we shake the milkwood to make it loose. Then we put our hand, then just flip it, then take it off the packet awfully gently, then put it in there.
So you start with the south.
Great work, local leopards. Now it's time for the GPS marker.
We're going to take the GPS point, okay? So you hold it right over there.
What I didn't enjoy about this whole challenge was that we had to put a GPS or GPS the area where the plant was, because I don't think it was really necessary to do that. But I understand that we GPS it and we don't remember what our plant was, and we come back a few years later, we can see it again in its growing state and everything like that, and we can just GPS to try and find where it is.
Both teams have planted their milkwood trees and did their bit for the environment. Ephraim remembered to remove the plastic from the forest. Well done. The local leopards, however, did not.
Guys, unfortunately, the local leopards, they left their plastic behind. Now, plastic is extremely bad for the ecosystem. This is going to end up in the gut of some other animal, and it's going to take hundreds of years before it disappears. This is vital to the sustainability of our projects, that we do not litter our ecosystems.
Which team has what it takes to earn rough points today? Make sure you worm your way back after this ad break.
For stage 3, the teams must build a worm farm using the resources on the farm, and with the method shown by our rough guide. The team with the best worm farm wins.
Okay, don't take a lot. Already
Looks like the eco-aliens are a little bit confused on what their task is, but we're on our way to get the worms and hopefully then we can get started.
Yes, come, Buko. There's lots, come, Buko, there's lots.
Bengoyika ukubamba i-worms ngoba like sesahamba sayo for fishing and ndienda bamba like i-earthworms ne-bloodworms, so eza worms like bezincinci then i-bloodworms like bezinkulu pa, so
You got some?
Oh. It must be in pieces.
That looks good, that looks good. You've got a lot of worms there, guys. Good job.
Yes, that's a horse manure, and this is the kitchen waste. So you'll have to put your hands in there and get the ones that I said that they are good for your worms. There you go.
Go so long, guys. The dumpster fruit was from where the pigs were and the mouse manure.
And you think that's enough for your worms? I think so.
Yeah. Just a little.
It's quite difficult for them because they don't know much about the farm. They don't know where things are suited, and then they have to ask around. And then as I said, that they can ask around where to find what. That's why I'm helping them, because they are new here. They don't know in the environment, so they're doing okay so far. And yes, the next group, I'm going to show them where to get the materials from as well.
Buko and I were going to get the water and the horse manure because no one else wanted to do it, so we just had to do it. And also we thought it was going to be fun. And we put all the food in there. We were going to take garlic or onion kind of fruit. And not to mention that it stank like crazy. I was running back and forth the whole time with my mask on, with my buff on. It didn't even work.
Come on, guys, this is the farm. You have to get used to the farm life, eh?
And we went out to take anything that was oily because it turns out the worms actually die from oily substances.
Ephraim and Buko are really giving 100% to this challenge, even picking up manure with their hands.
It was crazy, it was disgusting, but it was also really fun and funny.
The eco-aliens have got their food waste and they've got their horse manure. Let's see what they're getting up to over at the worm farm.
Yeah, we need water, where's the water?
Over at the local leopards, we have a lot of confusion and shouting. This can't be good.
Doing it right. First, what comes first and what goes after that and what goes on top?
Guys, the worms should go first. Didn't he like?
No, we must put the worms in first.
They must put the worms in first. You just first put the cardboard, then the horse manure, then you put the water on, then you shove it in. No, you need to add the worms after the shredded paper. It says here.
Read it out loud for them, Gabriella.
Next, you will need step 2. Next, you will need to add the worms on top of the shredded paper.
Wow, Zubayd, well done, my boy.
The worms on top. No. And I tonight, because the challenge is that come on, my man, baby, and say, do ya, babies like best IQ, and I ask him like my color, fuck with Piazza and I but when I ask the cover, when I go to instructions covers my man.
Seems like the local leopards have decided to throw everything out and start over because they did not follow the correct steps. So let's watch them do it.
They didn't read the instructions
but the worms had to go first. So then we like tried to take all the stuff out, but then we decided to start again because the bird found more shredded paper.
Just throw it in.
Just throw it in.
Watch it, Gabby. The teams are rushing to finish their worm farms as time runs out.
If I remove this plastic out of here.
Okay, Eco Ellie, so far we've got in our boxes, we've got in what? The horse manure and our worms. What's next?
Next is the fruit, and then after that it's a cardboard, then we should be finished.
Okay, we need someone to start shredding the veggies for us, I think.
Me.
Okay, go.
Shred the veggies.
Let's put water in here.
Yeah, the paper said so.
No.
Into ndithandileyo ngala challenge that uba ndikwazela ukuzibamba ii-worms ndingoyiki and ndikwazile uzenza mdaka izandla zam and sobe sebenze ezi-teamwork and like ndibe ndingoyiki uba okay mandizibambe ii-worms so ibiyinto encinci leyo.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, what's next, guys?
Put on top of there, put the lid on, and then we should wait.
It looks like the Eco Ellies have completed their challenge.
That's all.
Leave it. Okay.
We're done.
After all is said and done, there still needs to be one winner.
All right, guys, thanks for a really fun day with us here at the Grootbos Foundation. Did you have a good time? Yes. Guys, with regards to the challenges, we've got to take all steps into account. Our first challenge was the camera trapping. Red Eco Ellies, you guys made a great setup. You chose your spot perfectly, you tracked your wildlife, you found a junction, you aimed the camera properly. I just had a little bit of a problem in that the camera was a little bit loose. Okay, if a baboon troop was to come through, one of the youngsters could easily have pulled that camera off, carried it away into the forest, and that's a camera lost. Blue local leopards, you guys had a wonderful time setting up those cameras. I loved the way you were tumbling around like baboons in the forest and working as a team. It was really good fun. When you were doing the tests, it was perfect. It showed the most incredible setup and you would have won this challenge. However, you forgot to switch the camera on. When I came through to do my own test, I checked it out and it was still on setup mode. So unfortunately, this round goes to the Red Eco Ellies. With regards to the tree planting, you guys showed some great teamwork. Both teams working together. Local leopards, you planted correctly, you had your respect for the trees and you worked as a team. I did have a problem with regards to plastic left behind on the nature reserve, and that means that the Red Eco Ellies, you win that challenge hands down. With your third and last challenge, which was the worm farm, Red Eco Ellies, you showed great teamwork, you followed your instructions, and you made a perfect worm farm, collected all your resources. With that being said, and all challenges taken into account, overall winners of this round, Red Eco Ellies.
Congratulations, Eco Ellies. You are the winners of today's challenges, earning yourselves 10 rough points. Now, while we celebrate, why don't you check out the scoreboard?
After a busy day at Grootbos, it was the Eco Ellies who took the win and added 10 rough points, putting their tally on 50 points, with the local leopards still leading on 60 points.
The stakes have never been higher, and the scoreboard still reveals that it's any team's game. We are literally 1 week away from finding out which team will take the win for this round.
Will it be the local leopards or the Eco Ellies? We don't know, but what I can tell you is that you cannot afford to miss out. To find out, tune in next week, same time, same place.
It must be like...
Come on guys, this is the farm. You have to get used to the farm life, eh? Yeah, this is very interesting. Okay.